If you follow VR at all on social media, basically Twitter or Reddit, it's probably impossible to have avoided yesterday's oopsie on Oculus, depending on what side of the debate you're on. So let's go over this whole virtual desktop debate, go over both sides of it, and give you my opinions at the end. I'm Eric for President. Let's get into it. So it's a nuanced topic, I know that, and will be doing my best to cover both sides because no one here is fully in the right or wrong. So let's go over what virtual desktop is, what's going on that's causing this debate, and both sides of the problem. I do have strong feelings personally myself on this, and we'll share those at the end. And honestly, I had to do some reflecting on this one, and really, well, I'm feeling down on this, and we'll try to avoid event at the end. But honestly, this whole thing has got me down. Now, for those who don't know what Virtual Desktop is an application developed for Oculus, HTC, and Windows mixed reality headsets that lets you basically use your computer entirely in VR. You can browse the web, watch movies, use your apps like Hulu and Netflix, and you can even play your PC games on a giant virtual screen. It's one of the most widely used VR applications and absolutely my favorite way to watch anime. And this application is continuously being updated with new features and things to do. Recently, it was announced that Virtual Desktop could be used to play both PC and Steam VR games using the Quest's own touch controllers. Typically in the past, you needed to pair either an Xbox controller or another Bluetooth gamepad to use your games through the Virtual Desktop. A new option that is easily labeled within the program, Use Touch Controllers as Gamepad option, makes your Quest touch controllers act similar to an Xbox controller. It's all done natively through the app and takes just moments to set up. You're able to view and remap controls, and the touch controllers, in my opinion, emulated very well. Virtual Desktop is one of the smoothest ways to stream games, and yes, there is some latency issues, but in my personal experience, latency sensitivity varies widely from person to person, and I really enjoy this over ALVR and RiftCat. That's just my experience, yours could differ. But overall, Virtual Desktop and especially Steam VR use gained a lot of attention very recently in the news, and that's created a lot of love and passion for the application. Which leads us to yesterday's news that Oculus is forcing the removal of Steam VR streaming from the Quest app per the developer. In the dev's announcement, and I apologize if I pronounce his name wrong, Godin says that he is sorry to announce this, but Oculus doesn't want the Steam VR streaming feature in their store. He goes on towards the bottom that according to Oculus, he is hurting the Quest. What this means is those with a Steam VR game library who are using the stream feature of Virtual Desktop will no longer be able to stream Steam VR games to their Oculus Quest through the Virtual Desktop app. And of course, the outrage began. Both deserved and undeserved in some ways. There's even a petition out there against this and people reporting Facebook to the FCC for this. Yeah, that's happening. Let's start with those defending Oculus' decision to remove the feature and a few points they bring up. Now again, these are just some of the points for both sides. Of course, there are more. These are some of the more vocal ones I have seen, but I'm interested if you have more opinions on why you either defend Oculus or do not appreciate the decision, let me know down in the comments. For those defending Oculus, many have understood from the beginning that the Oculus Quest store would be a heavily walled garden approach, meaning they were going to be very strict on their own Quest marketplace. This would enable the Oculus Quest to control quality and avoid shovelware titles where overall games and features were basically without polish, had performance issues, and may have been lacking in other areas. Also, many refer that Oculus Quest has been called by many as a VR console and getting the same treatment say an Xbox or PlayStation would with a fully curated experience by the parent company. Probably the most vocal of opinion lies in the business applications of this. This could incentivize people to not purchase games on the Oculus Store and stay on Steam. Also, it could potentially be much harder to pull developers into the Quest if they can leave it on Steam VR instead. Lastly, from the stance the Quest may have been sold at a hardware financial loss according to many, Oculus needs to recoup all it can from the Oculus Store to make this profitable. Now, of course, there are tons of opinions and valid opinions of those who hate this choice by Oculus and want the Steam VR feature to stay on Virtual Desktop. Of course, the main point always stems in the cross-buy debate. Tons of people have purchased many games on Steam VR, and well, money doesn't grow on trees. They have a Quest and want to play games that they've already paid for, and the Steam VR stream function gives them an option on that. It makes sense. Really, many of the opinions on this side stem from money, and it's all fair. Many see Oculus as cash grabbing and money hungry over the consumer always. There's a history here. I think a lot of opinions stem just from the distrust of Facebook, Oculus, and where they're going, and I can 100% understand this. Also, recently there have been a few games turned down by the Quest store that many deemed worthy for the store, but in their walled garden approach, it came off as dangerous and anti-consumer that they didn't allow these on there because it didn't come to their standard quality. This decision to stop the Steam VR feature is just another notch in the anti-walled garden camp. And of course, many people have inherent sympathy and love for developers, the little guys working to succeed. I fall into this a lot and I want to see developers do well, so the sentiment makes sense. All right, so then it comes down to what are my thoughts. And man, it's been a whirlwind because I'm a VR fanboy. I'm a fan. You can see all the headsets that I have back here, and these are just some of the things VR I have. I have tons more. I want VR to succeed. I enjoy VR. It is my home away from home, basically. So my initial reactions, I'm always emotional. I'm doing my best to avoid knee-jerk reactions. I need to get better, especially being a content creator gives information. I want to make sure not the knee-jerk too often. So my initial reactions were, of course, angry. I do not particularly care for how strict the walled garden is that Oculus Quest is doing. I like a walled garden in sense, but theirs is just insanely strict, and I think overall it could hurt. But, and this is really more of a rant, so I apologize, guys, but VR, we are lucky to have VR. I'm lucky. I'm not gonna say we. I am lucky to have VR. I'm very excited to have this. I'm able to put any one of these headsets behind me over my head and be transported to another world. And I live at a constant stress level of 8, 9 out of 10, and especially anger level 8, 9, and 10, almost 24/7 hours a day. So being able to escape, it means a lot to me. And everyone has valid opinions on whether they like this model or dislike this model. I personally would just like to see the outrage culture on the VR headset stop. I think that we are all VR fans. We are all VR fanboys, fangirls, and we want to see it to succeed. I don't care what headset you play with. Most of us don't care what headset you play with. I just think we should support everything the best we can and root for VR's future, basically. Now, I do say that admittedly, where I do admit that although Zuckerberg does like VR, hell, if you looked at the F8 presentation he did, the only time he didn't look like a robot and smile was basically when we talked about VR. So I know he cares about VR. My personal opinions, though, is Oculus probably doesn't care about VR as much as you all may think, or some people think. They care about Oculus. They care about the Quest specifically. They know VR will be big, they know it's gonna go big eventually, and they want it to be theirs. That's not for everyone, that's for some people. Some people can handle that, some people accept that, and some people refuse to bend to a Black Mirror version of a company, basically. So at the end of the day, there are headsets to choose from. They may not all be this standalone by itself. I understand that. More may be coming with that, but every headset is gonna come with a pro and a con. You need to decide what's best for you, what you're willing to tolerate, and what you're willing to do. At the end of the day though, if you do have a VR headset and you're able to get to another world, anywhere you'd want to be at any time, well, that's just fun. Helps me, it's almost therapeutic at a time. But that's basically my vent for this whole situation. I don't even know if I actually took a side on this one. That's gonna be for you to decide, I guess, at this point. But let me know in the comments what your views are on this. Are you on the Oculus should not have done this camp? Are you on the camp of it's okay? Or are you somewhere in the middle, kind of like I am? I'm very interested to hear your thoughts, and I'm already a little worried to read the comment section of this video, to be honest. But I am Eric for President. Thank you for watching. Please hit that like button. It helps support this video and send it up so more people can hear my poor opinions on this. Also hit that subscribe button if you would like more. I'll see you in the next video, guys. I'm Eric for President. Goodbye.